Good evening, everyone. Hi, Miss Kay. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for being here. I'm just going to wait for a few people to
Let
join
us help
chat.
you experience the wonders of the world, whether near.
I was hoping that Kelly from CDT was going to join me, and she planned on it all day, but her daughter's sick, so last minute they kind of rushed to the doctor. Nothing like emergency, but she's just putting her to bed now, and I'm trying to get this out of the way before my fiance comes home, because once he comes home, we are going to watch the Netflix show You. It's season 3. I don't know if anybody has seen the show or heard of it, but it's a Netflix series and it's really good. So I'm wanting to watch that as soon as fiance gets home. So I'm going live now. It's just me. I don't think Kelly's joining me. I sent her the link just in case she can, but things do come up, and obviously the kids come first, which is sort of why I kind of had to wait until this evening to go live. I have a 9-month-old and obviously busy with her all day. So I've just put together something that I've kind of been looking at, and it has to do with Josh Taylor, who is the public information officer at the Northport Police Department. And he's that guy that we've seen. He's got the beard, and he's just been giving us the information as it comes through. I'm just looking at chat. Yes, Honeybee, she's 9 months already. I cannot believe it. She's almost 10 months, actually, because it's the end of this month. So, yeah, it's crazy. And yes, Kelly Bird, season 3, I'm only in 2 episodes so far, but it's really good. And I love that show. It's crazy. Yeah, I can't stand Josh Taylor, and I know Kelly from CDT shares these sentiments. I know that he's just doing his job, but there's just something about him that really rubs us the wrong way, and it doesn't even really have much to do with, you know, them losing Brian. It's all these little things that he kind of says and does, and his tone, just his demeanor, honestly, just rubs me the wrong way. So all I want to say is I'm going to need your guys' help in trying to understand. Well, I want to try to get my point across. And without Kelly here to kind of move things along with me, just bear with me as I walk you through this, because I've put together some clips and I'm going to try to explain it. But so I'm sure everybody has heard the thing that everyone's been talking about this week is the fact that Northport Police Department has said that they confused Brian for his mother, Roberta. So that's why the chief of the police department in Northport said that infamous line, "Don't worry, I know where Brian's at." Come to find out, they didn't know where he was at because they thought that Roberta was Brian. And am I understanding it correctly? It was when Roberta brought the Mustang back home that they thought that was Brian returning. Is that the deal? Like, is that the time that they thought, yeah, we'd seen him? So that's why the chief said that. Hi, Brooks. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you found me here. I know we were in the middle of messaging, but I had to jump on here real quick. So let me just share my screen while you guys kind of give me some feedback in chat. Okay, yes, I'm hearing everybody say yes. That's correct. That's correct. Okay, then that makes it even more interesting. And what I mean by it's even more interesting is you'll see. So, this is his latest statement this week that came out that everyone's been up in arms about, which they have every right to. This is absolutely absurd. But, oh, CDT, hey, thank you for joining the chat. I sent you the link. I know you said you were busy with the little one. No, yeah, it's fine. That's okay. I just read your messages. I'm just glad you're here. So yes, where we left off. This was the latest statement by Josh Taylor, and he said that Roberta and Brian were built similarly. And no problem, Kelly. I hope they feel better. And thank you to my mods, Mark, and everyone else for being here. Thank you. So he said that they were built similarly, and it's just completely embarrassing that they mixed them up. Now, keep in mind, everybody, Roberta brought the Mustang back on Wednesday. Okay. I got my little calendar out so that we can kind of visualize this with the days of the weeks, with the times, excuse me. So she brought the Mustang back on Wednesday, and that was the 13th. Gabby was reported missing on the 11th. Oh, wait, no. Did she bring it back? When did they report him missing? The 17th? Either way, let me just play this. And then you'll understand. This is him saying that they're built similarly. It just starts right off, so.
They're kind of built similarly. No case is perfect. They're kind of built similarly. No case is perfect.
Can you guys hear? I just want to make sure you can hear. So like I said, that was him this week stating that is, why they mixed them up. Because when the Mustang was returned, they thought that was Brian. Come to find out, it wasn't Brian returning it. It was his mother, Roberta, and Northport PD is claiming they're built similarly, and which is what caused the mix-up. So Gabby was reported missing on the 11th, which is it's a Saturday. Okay, yes. So Roberta brought it back on Wednesday, the 15th, the Mustang, okay? Keep that in mind. The 15th is when they thought it was Brian.
I know where Brian's at.
But just one quick thing, and the reason that Josh Taylor.
So I just clipped in the chief saying his infamous line, "I know where Brian's at," and that was on what? What date did that say? The 16th. Okay. They claim they know where Brian's at on the 16th.
I know where Brian's at.
Because that was after, that's a Thursday. That's the day after he saw Roberta. And they thought that was Brian. So that's why everyone has been coming out defending the chief this week and saying, yes, that's why the chief said that in that press conference, because they thought it was Roberta, or they thought it was Brian, but it was Roberta. So now I'm going to show you a clip from WFLA, and they just reiterate what we were just saying, that the reason why the chief said that was because when Roberta came back, they thought that was Brian. Roberta comes back on Wednesday, the 15th. This statement by the chief was the 16th. I'm speaking it this way because we need to get this timeline and their statements in order in our minds. Okay, guys, I know you're all intelligent and you get it, but I honestly have to say it out loud like this so that I'm understanding it, because
Just one quick thing, and the reason that Josh Taylor came out with this information is because on the 16th, Chief Todd Garrison said, quote, "All I'm going to say is I know where Brian is at." And Brian was already long gone. So he was trying to explain why the chief said that. So it's part of explaining something that was just really a big question. Why did the chief say he knows where Brian is when Brian was gone?
Yep.
Because Roberta was Brian.
Their noses.
So like I stated, that's them explaining it this week. That's WFLA explaining exactly what we just said. Josh Taylor is saying, well, the chief of police didn't lie. He thought that was Brian, but it was Roberta. They're built similarly.
Yep.
Because Roberta was Brian.
Their noses. Investigators say they did try.
Now, this is an old clip. And when I say old, this one came out, I think, September 14th. And it kind of gives like a little bit of a small glimpse of a timeline of what, what led up to misplacing Brian and mistaking him for his mother.
trying to make contact with Gabbypetito's fiance the weekend they seized the couple's van, but that he and his parents refused to talk. The following Tuesday, September 14th, Laundrie's parents say he left the house to hike the Carlton Reserve. That's the same day the Northport chief of police told CNBC.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
The next day, he was named a person of interest.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
Then
So that just brings us to the question. All right. So that was Josh Taylor in an interview with, I think, Fox 13, it was called, saying, and this is a different statement from when the chief said it on the 16th. He straight up said on September 14th, we have seen him, you know. So here's my thing. Where did you see him? Because it cannot be the time that they mistook Roberta for Brian, because that happened after Josh Taylor's statement here. So they report him missing, or the family reports her missing. The weekend goes by and they claim that they tried to get in touch with the Laundries, but were forced pretty much at the door with a paper saying, speak to our lawyer. So they weren't talking, right? So did they see him then? Like, we need more clarification from Josh Taylor on when he saw them, when he saw Brian, you know, and then we find out, you know, the whole camera thing, and that they added cameras right after Gabby was reported missing. So when he says we saw them, you know, was that on the cameras?
I know where Brian's at.
but just 24 hours later, the situation changed dramatically.
Right now, currently, I don't know where he's at right now. You know, he could be anywhere. I don't know.
So like I said, Brian Enton, and I'm sure everyone's been aware of this, came out saying that for a while the media had known about these cameras, but they decided, you know, keep it hush hush, obviously, because the investigation was going on, and that was good of them. These cameras were on the neighbor's property, and there was one, I guess, in a neighbor's dumpster or something. But the thing is, I just want to know, you know, when Josh Taylor said, and this is before the chief even said it. Okay. So everyone's kind of coming after the chief for his statement, but we have to remember.
We have not spoken with him.
The next day, the same day, the Northport chief of
We'll play that one more time, this little
Laundry
timeline.
say the weekend they seized.
So they take the van and they try to talk to Brian.
Gabbypetito's fiance. The weekend they seized the couple's van, but that he and his parents refused to talk. The following Tuesday, September 14th, Laundrie's parents say he left the house to hike the Carlton Reserve. That's the same day the Northport chief of police told CNBC.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
The next day, he was named a person.
And also, this was a report that was made before the Laundries changed the last time they saw him to the 13th.
Of interest.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
Then
September 11th.
I know where Brian's at.
but just 24 hours later, the situation changed dramatically.
Right now, currently, I don't know where he's at right now. You know,
So where I'm at this point is I want to know, was Josh Taylor being truthful when he said we've seen him, but we haven't been able to talk to him? Like, everyone's well aware that they were unable to make contact with the Laundries without, you know, being told, speak to our attorney. I'm to the point where I'm not even worried about what the chief said at that point. I'm here's the thing, after they mistake Roberta for Brian, that is unacceptable. That is, I'm sorry, but that is just a level of, no, how did that happen? That's inexcusable. It's just completely, embarrassing. We also heard, which I was going to pull up as well, that Gabby's father, Joe, has spoken out about the notebook. And pretty much, I guess, New York Times must have asked him in some way, shape, or form if, let me just pull it up and then we'll look at it. Because I didn't even read it completely, but it looks like they had like a little video on the article. But the whole point is losing Brian is inexcusable. Please prove to us that you actually were taking this case seriously. Like, they come out and, I mean, we've seen Josh Taylor in all these other interviews run his mouth, blah, blah, blah. This is our focus now, and we can't do this, and we don't survey our citizens, yet we find out that there's a camera. So it's just, I'm sorry, if you're going to be inconsistent, then you need to be prepared for people like myself and CDT and just the general public to be a little bit curious as to, what exactly you mean by on September 14th, you've seen Brian. I want to know. Let me figure out how to share this and speak at the same time. I want to know in a serious manner, how serious was this case? And if, when you said you'd seen him on September 14th, before the chief of police said that he knew where Brian was, forget about that. The day before that, and the day, before Roberta was mistaken, they had said that they'd seen Brian, but they weren't able to talk to him. So it might sound small or whatnot, but I need to know, and I know the public needs to know, like, if you're going to lose somebody and mistake him for his mother, I'm going to need to know when you did see him, because was this taken seriously when it was reported that she was missing on the 11th? You claim that you put the cameras up right away because it was serious. So if you have footage of Brian Laundrie, please share with the public that you actually did see him, like Josh Taylor is saying that Newport police saw him, because he's the spokesperson and you've seen in the clips, and you guys can go back. I won't subject you to me scrolling through with my mouse, but it was before the chief of police came out saying he knew where Brian was. I just want to know, what exactly did you mean, Josh, when you said you'd seen him? And if you have footage to prove that you did see him and that, this was a top priority for your guys' department at the time, please share with the public that footage. And I encourage everybody to kind of, I don't know, like tweet them on Twitter or something. Why did Josh Taylor say he saw Brian on September 14th? If it was from the camera footage that you guys hooked up on the neighbor's yard that we all know about now, can you just show the public that that's what you were referring to and that, like, you did see him? The other thing is, he didn't say we saw Brian when he got in the Mustang. They're all saying we saw him. We thought we saw him when they returned, but it was the mom. So I'm like confused why they even lost him before, like the mom, they thought it was the mom coming back. So it's just a lot of questions. And if they could just be a little more transparent, and sorry about the ad, and tell us what's going on, that would be greatly appreciated, because Josh Taylor, we've seen on footage saying we've seen him, so if he's referring to him walking around the block, like the neighbors said, then can you come out and say that? Like, we need to know what you meant on September 14th when you said we've seen him. So I haven't watched this, but okay, apparently there's no sound. I'll read it though for you guys. Gabbypetito's grieving dad has said he doesn't expect any closure from what may be written in Brian Laundrie's notebook. Florida police said that the notebook found near Laundrie's remains last Wednesday may be salvageable. Created a frenzy of speculation as what it may reveal. But Joe Petito told TMZ nothing in the book will bring back his daughter. Right. Petito instead hopes to shift the huge interest in his daughter's case towards missing and abused women who can still be saved. Calling it insane that as 1 in 3 U.S. women have suffered from abuse. 1 in 3 people. And Joe's saying it's insane, and I absolutely agree. It's sad. All right, so that was the end. But, you know, it's sad to even think about Joe being asked the question, you know, are you hoping to find closure with Brian's notebook? You know, they're devastated, I'm sure, that he's not alive. And for the reason of full, true justice for his daughter. So no, I don't know if I've seen it go around, and I've almost tried to tell myself in a way, like, I hope that that notebook has something in it, like answers, like maybe it's just me being curious, but like me putting myself, and I probably could never even try to imagine in their shoes, they cannot even begin to think that that notebook is going to be something of like hope, you know? And I felt like bad being like curious, like, and wanting to know what's in it. I still do, but you know, it's not going to give them what they need from it. So it's sad. Okay, Melissa said I'm buffering a lot. Am I? Let me know, mods or chat, how the buffering's going. Okay, Melmec says not on my end. Okay, well, that pretty much concludes what I was going to say. Did anyone have questions? Like, I didn't know, in my mind, these clips that I had were screen recordings, so it was hard to kind of lay it out in like a timeline of statements and where was what at what time, like the Mustang, etc. But from what I gather, just from what I've put together, the chief of police said it after Josh had already told the public that they had seen Brian, you know. So if it's the neighbor that saw Brian, I think my DoorDash is here. So if you hear a car, sorry. If it's the neighbor's story, like they said that they saw him walking, then Josh, please come out and clarify, you know. If it's the surveillance footage that you claim you guys put up and it was a huge priority for you right away, then is there a way that we can see that footage? Because if he was just a person of interest in the murder case, then he's deceased now. So the U.S. Marshals or the FBI's warrant for him for the credit card use should be null and void. Like that footage basically should be able to be shown to the public. I just feel like there needs to be a bit of accountability made for this police department. I'm sorry. Like he said even in that interview that no investigation or no case is perfect and it's inexcusable in my opinion. Like we understand that. And that's the thing about him that irks me is like, don't state the obvious. Like we know that no case is perfect. You know what I mean? Like that is just, he's condescending. And I've seen this type of guy over and over, like, because when I worked before the baby, I was in a predominantly male environment some of the time. And I just know this type of guy, and he just rubs me so wrong. And CDT please link her channel, Florida Bass, if you could. She has criticized Josh Taylor as well. And there's just things that he says that maybe the first time you hear it, you didn't really pick up on it. But then like, when you go back, and he tried to say that the Laundries took a while to report Brian, but look how long it took the Petitos. Like, it was like a weird comparison. Like, don't take what I'm saying as quote, but along the lines of some comparison or excuse for why the Laundries were behaving the way they were, and he was comparing it. It was just very bizarre and in bad taste. But anyways, let me just see what you guys are saying in chat. I know that Kelly agrees, and I see Kelly Bird agrees as well. I just feel like if they want us to just feel like mistakes happen, and to me, it just seems like they're like brushing off this mistake of losing him. I know that WFLA, JB, and I want to say Jonathan Lee Riches, I don't know for sure, but they've kind of tried to question like the police department in ways. And yeah, this is just Josh Taylor speaking for the police department saying, you know, nothing's perfect. And it's like, ideally, we wish they were, but to lose Brian the way they did, when you said on the 14th now that you did see him, like, can we just have reassurance that what you were saying was truthful and that you were taking this seriously and it was a priority for your department? You know, you put in the surveillance footage. So could we please see that? Because I need to know that what you're saying is matching what's coming out, because everyone's taking everything that they're saying and Josh is saying as, you know, the truth. And we hope that it is. So now can we get a little transparency? Because people have come hard on that chief guy for saying that. And here we are not even realizing that Josh actually said it before Roberta could be mistaken as Brian. So when was Brian Laundrie seen by the police? Specifically, date, time, you know? Was it on a neighbor's footage? Can we see it? You know, it's just, we need a little bit more reassurance, I feel. And it's not even my police department. I don't know. What do you guys think? Or am I just ranting about nothing? Like, after seeing the chief saying that he knew where he was and then saying that they realized it was Roberta, and then I see a clip of Josh saying it, like, so then what's his excuse? Was there another incident where Roberta looked like Brian? Melissa said, I don't believe the Laundries or the cops. I'm feeling that way too. Karen agrees. Thank you, Karen. And here's the thing. I'm not looking for people to be like, I agree. It's just like, I'm thinking in my head. And of course I speak it out to Kelly, you know, in my messages, and what I show her the clips too. And I'm like, what do you make of this? Or what did he mean by this? I mean, it's pretty clear. September 14th, he said, we seen Brian, but we haven't been able to talk to him. So was he like in the background, like when they knocked on the door? Like, thank you, Honeybee. Did you guys want me to play? It's like 2 minutes long. I could play it again for those who joined. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm just killing time before fiance gets home from campus. He does, like, he's a TA like into the night. So he's got like office hours and the baby's asleep. So it was perfect timing. Not for you guys, though. I saw the community page that you guys didn't want to wait, and Florida messaged me. But I was putting together these clips, and I just wanted to lay it out visually. So, plus, obviously, the baby's crawling, so I have to kind of keep up on her. Okay, hold on. And like, I'm sorry, does anybody I have yet to see somebody agree with Josh Taylor that they are built similarly. If anybody thinks that Roberta is built like Brian, please say so, because I don't know. Like, I do wear glasses, and I don't want, to not be open to that. But for me, and from what I've seen, I've yet to see somebody argue that. Even because, like, you'll stumble upon Brian's supporters, like in comments, of course, and Facebook groups and, all that. But I have yet to see even somebody who supports Brian come on and say, oh, yeah, you know what? Like, it's not even coming from people who are defending Brian or the Laundries. Okay. Okay, yes, I will replay it. So I'll replay it without me like stopping and commentating. It'll just be like the clips, and then I'll check in chat what you guys think.
They're kind of built similarly. No case is perfect.
I know where Brian's at.
But
Just one quick thing. And the reason that Josh Taylor came out with this information is because on the 16th, Chief Todd Garrison said, quote, all I'm going to say is, I know where Brian is at. And Brian was already long gone. So he was trying to explain why the chief said that. So it's part of explaining something that was just really a big question. Why did the chief say he knows where Brian is when Brian was gone?
Yep.
So Roberta was Brian.
under their noses. Investigators say they did try to make contact with Gabbypetito's fiance the weekend they seized the couple's van, but that he and his parents refused to talk. The following Tuesday, September 14th, Laundrie's parents say he left the house to hike the Carlton Reserve. That's the same day the Northport chief of police told CNBC.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
The next day, he was named a person of interest.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
September 11th.
I know where Brian's at.
But just 24 hours later, the situation changed dramatically.
Right now, currently, I don't know where he's at right now. He could be anywhere. I don't know.
So yeah, this is just obviously the neighbors setup from what the cops set up on the surveillance. So I'm reading chat. Josh appears to be very arrogant, in my opinion. I agree. That's fair, Florida. He said, I need DNA evidence linking all those bones to Brian. I've thought since day one he fled the country and his parents gave him a head start before reporting him missing. I had thought that as well, as far as, giving him a head start. But as soon as they said that the dental records matched For me, I was sort of sold, but I totally understand. And I'm starting to be like, you know what would it hurt? It's not going to hurt to get the DNA, obviously. But I have a really good website with medical sources, and it's very, very clear cut, dry. The teeth are very reliable. And in a lot of cases, if they don't have the DNA, then that's what they'll determine it. So I bet you there's cases that you guys know about where something was confirmed to be somebody, and they probably confirmed it dentally. I haven't. I'm well aware of like all the rumors, like of, I've seen his cousin's a dentist, his uncle's a dentist. I've seen the lawyer's uncle, whatever. I haven't seen anybody like show me like a LinkedIn or something of proof. You know what I mean? I need to see things, which I guess, I have to see the DNA. I would like to see the DNA, obviously. But in my mind, I'm like 98% sure that it's Brian, just from the dental. But we'll see. Yeah, they can get, you know what? I'm trying to find, I have the article. I can link it in chat. It's really remarkable, the way that medical science and technology has come. And it's not just, oh, they compare x-rays and they prove it. I mean, there's extractions and whatnot that they do. Of course, I can't find it. One second, guys. Sorry. But from what I was seeing, the majority of chat kind of agrees that, this whole case was kind of botched. And, it's just sickening when you think about her family. Like, forget the public that's all curious and interested. And I would say I've seen obsession with this case, like from people. I don't know if you guys have seen the same, but it's like the Watts case times 100, and in the way of it's expanded to so many people's interest, and they want to see we all wanted to see this play out like in the courtroom, like we wanted real justice to kind of do its works. But yeah, they're definitely going to get some DNA. They're going to run DNA and all that. Trust me. Hi, Deco Paint NT. Painter NT. Every single one of us YouTubers fumble when they see that name, but we're always so happy to see you. And Natasha and everyone else, like I saw all you guys' comments. So here is the dental article. And again, you can take it for whatever. I'm not saying it's what I think is the truth, like it to me, I'm not hung up on, like, I have faith that it's going to show that it's, done right. Like they're not gonna cut corners and stuff like that. So in chat right now, I have that link for that dental. It's called A Look at Forensic Dentistry and How Teeth Are Used to Identify a Person. And it just really breaks it down really easily, the different types of extractions and what part of the tooth is what. I looked through it and I thought about bringing it up and talking through it, but there's so many words that I was just like fumbling over, and I like to Google the words where they have like that little voice audio and you can hear them say it, but I'm not trying to do all that with you guys live. But that is the link, and it really, it really convinced me that the dental process is trustworthy and reliable, and you can rely on it. Like, cause then they have like a study that they're talking about it. Sorry, I was just looking through it. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not going to just sit on here and waste time, but yeah, I think it's him too, just reading chat. But I do not, people can feel however they want to feel. But do I want to see the DNA evidence? Of course I do. I heard that it's not even going to be out till November. We just need to seriously wait and see what they all say. And that pretty much concludes everything I wanted to talk about. Florida said, Amber, do you know if the teeth were attached to a jaw or loose and scattered? They said that they had a partial skull, and I believe that the teeth were in that. I'm not sure what part of the skull they had, but from my gathering, I think that they were in the skull still, but maybe there were some that they could gather from around as well. So thank you, Melmac. It was good to see you. And thank you, Mark, and all my mods, Superhero. Thank you for being here. So the other thing, I guess, since I'm live with this, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go, I think tomorrow morning, I'm looking to see on Brian Ennen's Twitter, because he was supposed to do an interview with Cindy Sue for the Moab double homicide that I'm looking into now and have been, but I don't know if it's airing tonight. Yeah, okay, I'm looking at his Twitter. We are investigating the murders of Kylan Schultz and Crystal Turner near Moab. Okay, so then there's a link. All right, so tomorrow morning I've started already a few video clips, and that Brian Enton's clip, I'm going to look for it after this live and pull it up tomorrow morning. And it's going to have other relevant content as well. All right, so that pretty much is it, guys. Thank you so much, and we will talk soon. And I really appreciate everybody being here. And blow up the Twitter for what's his name, Josh Taylor in the police department, and explain when we can see where they'd seen him, if it's on the surveillance footage, because they said September 14th they'd seen him. Can we actually see that and know that you were, taking this seriously? That'd be great. Hi, Derek. Bye, Derek. It's over. Thanks for being here, though. Bye, guys.